I stay until the job is done. Or maybe you could sit and hope that Providence will fray the road and sing like a star.
Well, we're always looking for new segments here on this program. Frequent emailer Steve has an idea for a potential new one. I want to get your pencil out, or your pen, whatever you like to use, or your computer. Hoocha or kombucha? Given the recent trendiness of kombucha drinking, maybe there could be a bumper-to-bumper game show called Hoocha or Kombucha. You or Guardsy could have the caller guess if the name of the beverage is either hooch or kombucha. Considering there is a new kombucha drink stumbling onto the market every day, there should be plenty of names from which to choose. Granted, this game show would not hold a Bath and Body Works candle to the RPI greater than less than show. It might be something to kill a segment. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Hoocha or kombucha?
Maybe we do it at the state fair.
That's the that would be that'd be the natural spot for it.
We can bring the crowd in a little bit.
It's an outstanding idea.
That might be where we try to do it.
Speaking of state fair, it is around the corner enough that we are desperately looking for what our new our T-shirt for 2017 State Fair should read.
This is not good.
Usually you have good ideas. I rarely do on this one. This is not something I spend a lot of time thinking about, and I'm not really good at thinking about it. But I think you're a little dry right now.
Yes.
So any State Fair bumper-to-bumper T-shirt ideas?
Some thoughts.
All we want to do, well, look, we know we're never going to be at the top of the T-shirt pecking order. We're fine with that. We're more than satisfied with our place. We are more concerned about other areas anyway, but we like to be on the board. We at least like to be on the board.
For sure.
So if you have ideas, tweet to Guardsy. Guardsy will probably see them more than I will, or me. But Guardsy's better at recording them and keeping them down, keeping them in a place where he'll remember them. And as I said, believe it or not, it's not too early for that planning to go on. The pressure is on from promotions to get that
from Ellie
to get that going. So there you have it.
Ellie comes back from her vacation and just hammers us with T-shirt threats, and Abbott's right there with her. That's the way it goes.
Emailer Brandon, Wool's new nickname, a la Embiid. We had fun with the fact that apparently Joel Embiid has already come up with a nickname for the big four hot shots that the Philadelphia 76ers have now put together, including the Fultz kid, and who didn't play last year, Ben Simmons.
Yep.
And what did I say their new nickname is? Do you remember it? The
Feds, yeah.
In that context, he said, I tweeted this as well, but in case you missed it, wanted to let you know the new Wolves Corps wants to go by Bark, a la Embiid. In this case, it would be obviously Butler, Andrew, Rubio, and Cat. Well, of course, the fatal flaw there is Rubio might not be here. I like it, though. At least he's thinking.
Bark, and it fits well with the Wolves.
I think so. As always, love the show. Have a good one. Formerly known as Napa Delivery Guy. Bark. It's a maybe because Rubio's fate is in question. Now, if we replace Rubio
with another R,
are there any R's at the point guard that we've been talking about? Who's the one from Toronto?
I mean, that's Kyle Lowry.
Lowry, that doesn't
So
really...
that's like Bach if you want to use the K, or Bulk if you want to use the L.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think that's the same.
No, it doesn't seem the same. Mean the same, I wouldn't think.
Like Drew Holiday.
Would that work?
I mean, that's another Bach with an H for the K.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to mismatch the letters a different way.
Who's the one from Houston? Beverly. How about Beverly?
Beverly? No.
That wouldn't work. Then we got two B's.
Yeah, two B's wouldn't work.
Yeah. What's his first name?
Patrick. That's not going to work either.
It's not going to work either. Well, we'll keep that in mind, though. It's a possibility.
Do you remember battling with Flip over the den? You remember we would always battle. I miss it. He wanted to nickname everything. He would have loved the Sixers. Hey, we'll call it the Feds.
Yeah.
Hey, come see the Feds. We're here. Come see us. And we were like, and we had the same discussions that don't name the building. Let it all happen first.
Don't go Dunks After Dark yet. Let's get some success going first.
That's what it reminds me of, because he always wanted to name everything, and we always told him not to.
Cartparth Eagle guy is already offered up for the T-shirt State Fair show of hands.
Ooh.
That's pretty good off the top. That's at least got to be in the mix.
That'll be in the mix. Show
of hands is not bad. If enough people are in on the joke, I guess that would be the...
But if they're Bumper to Bumper fans, they are. We play it basically every day. I mean, Richard Pitino said that's one of his favorites.
Yeah, that's true.
He might buy a shirt. He's got the money.
All right, so here's the deal. We had Randy Kay on in the 4 o'clock hour, about 4:30. She's got a piece at CNN.com about the entree in the piece is the story of how she came to acquire her golden retriever named Gatsby that apparently was rescued from a South Korean dog meat farm. That got her interest, her curiosity up. She started doing some more research on that issue, and the story lays out the effort on the part of humane societies, especially here, in rescuing a number of those dogs from rather difficult conditions, et cetera, et cetera. And not surprisingly, we got some emails back with some folks, perhaps with their brows furrowed a bit, even though they too might be dog owners. Let me see if I can get to those emails. When do they would have come in before the 5?
Yeah, about 4:40 probably.
Nick from St. Louis Park. I appreciate the discussion about the dog meat farms in South Korea. However, it's still so hard for me to understand why most Americans can't see how the atrocious conditions these dogs live in are just as terrible when done to pigs, chickens, cows, etc. Dogs are wonderful pets, but really they are just wonderful animals, as are the others. We seem fine not watching how the sausage is made. Couple more. Farm dogs are raised like beef, chicken, pork, goats. Seriously, what about those lamb chops? What about the horse meat trade? Europe eats them still. My family did too during the Depression and the advent of tractors replacing horses in the 40s. Grab some celery and settle down. Longtime listener Kav Lee. Can you please educate your audience and let them know that dogs and cats are regularly eaten in Switzerland also? There are a few, and she links to an article in that apparently lays out the Switzerland deal. There's a few others, articles on here, too, throughout the year. Stop reinforcing stereotypes as if Asian countries are the only ones who eat dogs. Longtime listener. And there was one money one I didn't want to get to. Oh, well, we'll save this one because it raises a different subject entirely. Is that it? Oh, I'm a dog owner, and thinking about this is difficult, but in India, cows are sacred, right? So do they think we are just as barbaric? Well, all those, I think, are of the same, a variation on the same theme. And the issues they raise are legit. There is the concern, and maybe even you could argue, if you wanted to, the arrogance of because we look at dogs a certain way, that everybody else in the world is obligated to look at those same animals the same way. Now, in terms of the chicken, the analogy involving other animals here, I don't think most of those other animals are pets on a regular basis. Dogs have become a very different animal in this country, for better or for worse, in terms of the meaning that that animal has for lots of people. Same with cats, obviously, to a large degree, much to my chagrin. But I get the point. I mean, and there may well be, you can make the argument that there's some parts of the world in which there are folks saying, you know, we love the Americans get mad at us because we eat dog, but maybe we don't have the same, shall we say, economic possibilities that you guys have. And so for us, it's part of sustenance. It's a part of staying alive. And so it's easy for those of us who have grown accustomed to having our dogs as pets to say, how dare they, and in any number of countries. I don't want to just limit it to Asia if it is indeed more widely than that. So I appreciate that email making that point as well. But it's worth mentioning, right, that there has always been a, what's the term I'm looking for, two-facedness, that's a made-up word, disingenuousness to the horrors that we discuss and the stories we are revolted by as it pertains to treatment of dogs in many other countries, when there's certainly lots of stories about the conditions not exactly being perfect in this country for animals that ultimately get slaughtered, because what do we do with them? We eat them, right? We eat them, bottom line.
A lot of them.
So that's fair. Now, the conditions described in some of these situations in some of these countries seem fairly grisly to me. I don't know that I'd want to be in the business of attempting to defend that, but I think there has to be some acknowledgement that not every country traditionally, historically, has looked upon the quote-unquote dog trade the same way we do here, right? I mean, we have, over a period of decades, and I dare say even in that period of time, 30, 40, 50 years, the sensitivity that many of us have to dogs and how they are treated is dramatically different from even what it was in this country about getting, taking dogs to vets, getting them well, what you do with dogs that you do not want any longer, et cetera, et cetera. We have come to a place where we are, and I'm not going to necessarily mock and ridicule it, but it would be a little bit close-minded for us to assume that every country has the same traditions and even the same situations, the same standards. They're going to look at things the same way regarding how horrified we are when we get to some of these stories. Is that fair?
I think that's a fair way to look at it.
I don't think we can ignore that completely. I don't think we have to apologize for the relationships that have been established between the domesticated dog in the United States and many, many, many pet owners, including you and me, among, millions out there. But the question that comes up is, at what point, how much right do we have to, quote unquote,
Work is different when you're working from home. Sweatpants 24/7, 0-hour commutes, conference calls with kids. But with endless communication platforms, we still haven't figured out the whole work thing. Glip is a new type of meetings platform that makes working from home a little less work. With unlimited video meetings and team messaging, it's everything you need to stay connected, all in one app. Glip by Ring Central. Meet smarter. Sign up for free at glip.com.
Are you looking for an employer that will work with you, provide steady pay, and treat you like the asset you are? Steyr Transportation has built trusted relationships with drivers and clients for over 50 years. When you drive for Steyr, you get company-paid health and dental, bonuses for safe driving, regular home time, and a company-matched 401k. Plus, new hires get a $1,500 sign-on bonus. If you have a Class A license, apply now at SteyrTrans.com. That's STYER Trans.com. Steyr Transportation, since 1966.
Put pressure on, criticize, hammer how the treatment or how dogs are handled in other cultures. And look, if you're the Humane Society and that's your mission, regardless of whatever the culture is, and you have the opportunity to, as part of your mission, to rescue as many dogs from this fate because you think you can find places for them to live, I don't think the Humane Society has to apologize for that either. That's part of their mission. But, it's the fact of the matter is there are places and there are times in our history when people couldn't be quite as selective or quite as haughty about what they ate. They may not have even loved doing it while they were doing it, but they needed to survive, right? How prevalent that is in some of the cultures we're talking about now, I can't pretend to completely know. It sounds as if even in those countries, maybe young people are trying to sort of change the traditions and to ask the kinds of questions that we might ask more regularly about that, as if, do we really want to go down this road? Is there another way? Is there a better way? That's fine, too. But I understand a lot of what some of the individuals are discussing, so I wanted to at least mention it. Here's the one. Well, let's break. I'm gonna read you an email, and I want you to think about it during the break.
Okay.
If it's astute, if the emailer is astute or asinine, what he has offered up. And he's responding to a specific thing that Randy said about her dog understanding their effort to communicate and establish communications with their dog. Her dog didn't understand English? I'm sorry. When did dogs